Hey guys, welcome back to another Skyrim mods video. This video, I will try to make sure I do not whisper in your left ear this time. No guarantees, but I'll very muchly so try. Today's video is pretty much like usual. There's no real game-changing mods in this, but some mods are really great, while some you might find slightly useful, especially if you have a mod list that's nearing 3,000 mods, and some of these you might already have, and some of them you might just want to add just in case, so that you don't get the itis and restart as soon as you hit Bleak Falls Barrel. So without further ado, don't forget to endorse mod authors and also hit that like button down below if you enjoy the video, if I didn't mess too much stuff up in this one at least, but let's dive right in. The first mod up, and the biggest overhaul of this video and also biggest download size, we have the mod Grand Solitude, the Walls of the High King Erling. I feel like there's no other way to say Erling, but as you can see, this mod starts the overhaul from the very outside of Whiterun, and if you happen to be using some of their previous mods, it pretty much takes all of their smaller mods and combines them into one big Solitude overhaul with a bunch of extra additions. This mod typically leaves the Solitude docks alone, so if you have a mod touching that and also the farmhouse just above it with the kid that sleeps in the stables, you should be fine with combining that mod with this one, as long as you have the Northern Roads patch, because then things might get a little shaky. This mod in total adds a bunch of high walls around Solitude, making it seem like it is really the capital of Skyrim, being a bunch of castles combined into one. That probably didn't make any sense, but what I'm trying to say, there's a new big wall surrounding Solitude, making it seem like a fortified castle, along with a bunch of new buildings for the tons of new NPCs that are added by this mod, because it'd be weird if it expanded on Solitude and didn't at least add NPCs to make it feel lively. And it pretty much touches every single part of Solitude. Some are a little smaller in terms of the overhaul size, but they have been changed to the point if you have played Skyrim for a few years like a lot of us have, you'll definitely notice the smaller changes, especially the new spike pick that you can't fall in and die on. So you might want to be a little careful now, but it kind of makes sense if you think about it from the standpoint of if the city was raided, they could just raise the bridge and then they don't have to worry about soldiers just bashing in the door, because now they have a spike pit. And honestly, even though the showcase is pretty long, I felt like I didn't do it justice because this mod is absolutely massive, so I might redo a showcase and showcase pretty much everything this mod offers, on top of the new immersive NPCs and also new shops, because there are certain new shops in here that don't exist in a vanilla game. And the NPCs that fill those shops also have their own daily active AI, so you don't have to worry about them standing in one place. But what I meant by stores not existing in vanilla, I didn't mean that this just adds a new store that wasn't there before. That wouldn't really make sense here considering this is a massive overhaul. But I mean, some of these shops have functions that don't exist inside of Skyrim. Of course, this mod adds other options of inns, because I believe Whiterun is the only one that doesn't have a racism system when it comes to the inns. This one just has a which one would you prefer, but this one also has a banking system with one of the NPCs. I'll definitely go into further details regarding the interiors that were added on top of the new NPCs in their daily lives, and also the lore that they bring into Skyrim, but I kind of wanted to just stick to the facts of what this mod provides you, and why you'll probably be downloading it, considering a lot of you already use Enhanced Solitude. And this is pretty much that, but into one small mod that doesn't require a bunch of patches. And yes, if you're wondering, yes, this is Castle Door and it has been massively overhauled, so it will need a patch if you're currently using JK interiors, but honestly, I would definitely recommend using one or the other. You wouldn't benefit from it. And this really turns the castle from just a small room that you just discuss war in, to a big massive overhaul that multiple soldiers could fit in, along with the garrison for them. And up next we have another massive overhaul, but this time a little smaller, and it's for Riften. This mod overhauls Riften with new textures and parallax to go with them. This mod is called Tomatoes, Riften, and Ratway. While parallax is highly recommended to get the full effect of this mod, as you can see, the Stonewalls look absolutely amazing. I am using the 4K version just in case you were wondering, but I highly recommend the 2K version. You won't suffer any visual quality loss unless you're face planting the textures like I do, but that's because I do showcases. You really have no reason to do that. And one fun part about this mod that I haven't noticed with other Riften overhauls is that this one goes heavily into the purple aspect of Riften. Generally they prefer to keep it brown, but with those matching, and also Sons of Skyrim if you happen to be using that one like me, and the guards have new purple armor, then this goes perfectly with that. And this mod does go the further step with not just overhauling the architecture, but pretty much every single small aspect of Skyrim, and also applying parallax to it just to make your game look a lot better. Even the wood part of this mod has been overhauled. And when I say wood, I do not mean your father in the morning. I actually mean the wood inside of Riften and also the wooden planks outside. Now they have new parallax textures to make it look like the wood is actually rising up, And also the walls look kind of decayed like Riften actually should look. It shouldn't look pristine and cleaned up. And if you're here to tell me that the Riften planks already were lifting a little up and that's not parallax, then that's probably because I don't faceplant the textures on the floor a lot. I just started noticing now. This new Riften retexture is pretty much the perfect overhaul to Riften if you're tired of all the old bleak and bland colors. Just add a little purple to your life, along with the Riften Ratway, which pretty much does use the same textures as the outside walls, but it's kind of more confined and more refined inside of the interior because parallax always looks better with this type of lighting. Lux just has an effect on those type of things. And if you're new to modding Skyrim, the doors does not come with this mod. That is another mod called Glorious Doors of Skyrim. Okay, so up next, we all know the mod Alternate Perspective, the alternate mod from Alternate Start. I'm saying alternate a lot. But as you can see, you start off in the mod, a normal create your character, and then there's items all around you. Well, it just got a massive overhaul. This new mod that both you and me will probably be going forward using is called Alternate Perspective Reborn. With this mod, the new starting room for Alternate Perspective has been completely overhauled to have more space. Every single thing around inside the room is still here, just placed in more convenient spots, so you can at least walk around and look at your character without worrying about you spawning in tavern clothes and being in a room. I mean, you still spawn in tavern clothes, but it's a lot bigger now, and that's what matters. And also, this room is not meant to be viewed from the outside. The walls kind of go invisible, and this mod doesn't really touch anything in terms of the quest. You still talk to the dragon and pick what you want after picking all the items that is available. This doesn't change any of that, nor does it change the way to start the vanilla quest start for Alternate Perspective. Just walk through the black door. Well, I guess it's more of a void, but up next we have the new armor mod called Adventurer's Armor, coming in light armor for your character to wear, female only, coming with patches for 3v8 and B-Hump, but you do have to build your body slide before joining in game or your character will be a floating head and hands. No one likes to see that. And it comes in a few pieces, honestly. There isn't too many, but there are different colors for this armor, so you don't have to just rock the same variant. But it's kind of convenient because this armor, unlike most other armor mods, has a full armor, so if you don't feel like mixing and matching or just having a bunch of pieces equipped to your character, you can just equip one piece, and it will pretty much cover every part of this armor. But if you still want to mix and match, you can just pick the certain pieces that you want, which means that this armor can become not safe for work. There is no HDT, and you also don't require heals to make this armor work, and every color variant is purely visual. There's no stat difference. And to get this armor, there's two ways. There's no special quest, so you don't have to worry about this being unimmersive, and you don't get it automatically as soon as you join in game. You just have to craft it at a forge, along with tempering and enchanting. All of that can be done in the same simple places. Up next, and probably one of my most recent Magic favorite mods, but we have the DreadBinder, Relic Conjuration staff. With this staff, you do have to do the Dawnguard DLC, and then once you get into the Soul Cairn, you can start looking for this wonderful staff. This staff comes with tons of perks and skills for your character to use, along with just the simple casting that casts a huge AoE effect around your character. It doesn't damage enemies, but when you kill enemies, it will fill up soul gems for your character to use so you can re-enchant the staff. But you can also go further and look at the perks that it provides. It's kind of overpowered because you have no limitation on how many enemies you can actually revive. And looking at the AoE effects, you might think that the revival effect stops as soon as that AoE effect stops, but no, it pretty much stretches even further than that and revives pretty much every NPC around you. And the best part is that the revived have no level difference for you, so you can revive even a level 80 NPC if your character is level 20, along with being able to revive even creatures around you. But just know, the stronger the creature, the more charge that the staff uses, and then you'll have to recharge it. So it's overpowered, but at least it runs out fast. And you can use the spell multiple times on smaller enemies, but if you happen to revive tons of enemies like you just saw, I revived about 20 NPCs including giants and mammoths, it uses more charges. But to get the staff, you do have to kind of search the Soul Cairn. There's no quest marker, so you just have to find everything, which did take me a while. It took a very long time, I hate to admit it. Up next, a mod for the immersive enthusiast like myself, kind of a quality of life mod, but don't you hate when your character can stand in fire and not take damage? Well, we have a fix for that. This mod is called Fire Hurts, OIF, which stands for Object Impact Framework, which is required. With this mod installed, when your character walks on top of any type of fire form, some having more damage than the other, your character will be set on fire. But what I did notice about this mod though is if you stand in place after initially taking the fire damage, you kind of stop taking damage even if you're still on the fire. So the plus side of this mod versus something like Fire Hurts NG is this one isn't continuous damage while you're standing on fire, but as long as you keep moving, your character will take more damage. But there are some instances where you stop taking fire damage, but I'm sure you'll figure that out on your own. Instead, we're going to move on to the next mod, overhauling the walls outside of Whiterun. This mod is called Nordic Farmfields Stonewalls, overhauling the Stonewalls just outside of Whiterun right when you first encounter the giant attack for the Jorvaskr companions. But it overhauls them, giving them a new 3D look, also with its own parallax textures. In this mod, unlike the other mods by Mindflux, it doesn't give you an option for which textures you want for the walls. What you see is what you get, but maybe in the future it'll be updated and added more variants. And that was pretty much it for today, guys. Like I said, a pretty simple list, nothing really game changing, but a lot of mods that you guys probably will end up using anyway. So if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button down below, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace and love, guys.